Okay, welcome to the C-Files podcast. I'm Luke.
I'm Casper.
We're a little tired right now because we tried recording this and it didn't work. So we're trying it again.
Yep.
This week we're doing Free Guy. If you couldn't read the title of the episode, which in that case I'm very sorry. But this week we're doing Free Guy. And I kind of wanted to bring you on for this because I think I know a lot about movies as in general, but I don't know a lot about both video games and slightly more mainstream movies, which are more your expertise.
So I'm here for the video juegos.
Correct, yes.
Okay.
And as you know, this movie has a lot of both of those things in it. So, first of all, I want to know, what did you think of this movie?
I thought it was quite good, but then again, I'm the kind of person that likes Marvel films and the last 3 Star Wars, so you know.
Alright, never mind, get out, you like the last 3 Star Wars.
I thought they were alright!
I don't know, I like the first, I don't know, the Force Awakens I liked. What was the second one called?
I can't remember.
Last Jedi? It was the Last
Something
Jedi.
like
Let's
that.
go with that. Last Jedi bothered me. I did not like the most
It
recent.
pained me.
It pained me. Did not like the most recent Star Wars. Have some problems with J.J. Abrams now. J.J. Abrams, if you're listening to this, I'm very sorry. I didn't mean that. Please come onto my YouTube channel. I do that every time I insult someone. I always have a bad habit of insulting people who I want to meet. Like,
why do you do that?
I don't know. Don't ask
That
me these.
literally just negates every chance of them meeting you.
Like John Carpenter says, like, "That damn kid called me old." So he's gonna insult more like bad people. You insult the Weinstein brothers more. Okay, now I promise you that every episode will begin with a Weinstein insult. So for this week is Weinsteins. Fuck you. Anyway, moving on from that. The very weird...
Moving swiftly onwards.
That very weird tangent about... I forgot what it was about. Weinstein. This is a movie which I originally thought was going to be not good by a lot.
I like it.
No, I agree. It's a good movie. But, like, when I first saw the trailer, I was like, oh no, this is another Ryan Reynolds kind of thing.
Like Red Notice.
Because, like, Red Notice, but kind of worse. Like a Hitman's Bodyguard type movie.
I never watched that.
It's not good. The first one's okay. The sequel is, like, just not good.
It was a sequel?
There's the Hitman's Wife's Bodyguard.
Yeah.
It came out recently. It's terrible.
Oh, I thought that was the first one.
No, that's the second one. It hurts your brain to watch it.
Okay.
Yeah,
I guess I'll take your word for it.
Yeah, so Ryan Reynolds for me is kind of a hit or miss guy. He does the same thing in every movie, and that same thing
He did Deadpool.
Yeah, but he kind of plays Deadpool in every movie now. Like, he
Is
was...
that a bad thing?
Like, he was, like, a rom-com guy from, like, 1995 to 2003. Then
I
he did...
wasn't alive then.
Correct, nor was I. Then he did nothing, and then he just did Deadpool, and now he just plays Deadpool in every movie. Essentially, he has the same kind of joke thing.
I guess.
So when I first saw the trailer,
Yeah, no, he does feel like Deadpool in it.
yeah, like Red Notice, he's kind of just playing Deadpool.
He is.
Just without
and then
the-
in Free Guy as well.
Yeah, Free Guy
But like
too.
a nicer Deadpool.
It works more in Free Guy because the whole thing in Free Guy is that he's not like a fully formed person.
Yeah.
He's an AI. So yeah, but like sometimes it can come across as a bit pretentious.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, essentially what this movie is a movie adaptation of GTA.
Essentially, yes.
This is like if you were going to make a GTA movie, this is the best way you could do it. Because
Yeah, having a video about a character in GTA wouldn't.
well, then it'd be like a drama. Like, it'd be an action drama. Because a lot of the stuff in GTA you'd have to handle kind of more sensitively. If, like, you were to... I saw a thing on this a while, like, I think the best way to make a video game movie is to make a movie about playing video games. Because I've never seen a video movie adaptation that, like, treats the... like, in the universe of the video game, where it works. The best was maybe, like... Sonic, although that kind of bothered me, but I guess I will. I imagine I'm not the target demographic for that.
I am glad that they removed Sonic's teeth though for the film, because there was that image of Sonic with teeth and everybody just hated it.
I mean, with that kind of thing, I legitimately couldn't care less.
Really?
I don't know. I don't really care about Sonic.
Have you seen the picture of
No,
Sonic?
I did. Yeah, I saw it. It's not good, but then again, I'm like, I don't care. Like,
it bothers
as
me.
things go, it's not the biggest thing to me.
Yeah, I guess.
Also, probably didn't help that my sister got really into that Sonic movie, and then I watched it 15 times.
You know, I've watched the Lego Movie 2 5 and a bit times.
That's a good movie.
6 and a bit.
I've watched it 7 times.
Come on!
Boom. Don't try and beat me, Casper. Yeah, but... So, essentially, the movie... Like, it's kind of... It's a movie where I thought it was going to be really bad, but it turned out really good. And it's an example, I think, of Disney... Because I think I would say on average, I don't like Disney. On average, I don't like Disney, I don't think. I wouldn't say I like Disney. They're kind of... especially the Marvel movies, I didn't appreciate like what they did, because...
Which ones did they make?
They made all of them except, like, Hulk and Iron Man. Marvel made all the Marvel movies. And the thing I have with them with that is that they strip control away from the creative people, like directors.
I don't know anything about this. I literally just watch the films. So
Yeah, I watch people who
I'll let you talk about it.
I watch people who get angry over Marvel films, which is essentially like the people who like, because as technically all the Marvel directors Marvel movies technically have directors, they don't do anything. Like
we talked about this. Didn't we? Like they're just names that are there.
Yeah, you don't because so all the action scenes, for example, they make those action scenes before they write the script. Like which is why sometimes they kind of come out of third base. Like, did you see Black Widow?
Yes.
The ending with the whole space air thingy skydiving.
I was watching that on the train with my friend and with AirPods in.
Yeah.
And my dad just looked over at Black Widow skydiving out of thing and was like, wee.
Yeah, but like that. So the 3D they basically, because that's all CGI, obviously. They 3D rendered that. They probably 3D rendered that like 2016, way before they. Yeah, it took them ages to do that, and because they did it so early, it kind of. I think you might notice it. The rest of the film doesn't feel like that. The action scenes feel different to the like dramatic scenes, you know. Because it has some dramatic scenes.
I mean, I don't analyse all the films I watch. I probably could have picked up on that if I paid attention.
On rewatch, it's more obvious. I think if you watch it the first time, it's not super clear. But
I guess.
And then like, because then also Marvel does the thing where they say we're gonna give like upcoming directors thing. It doesn't mean that. It means they hire people who they can just control, and then.
We haven't talked about Free Guy yet.
Not really, no.
Let's do that.
The reason I went on this tangent is this is an example where this was a script that was written. I mean, I didn't do a ton of research, but I did like hear this. This was a thing where someone wrote a script, Marvel bought it, and then they added in all their like Marvel stuff because that hadn't been like the ending stuff, kind of the Free Guy was a script. Some college student wrote that.
Oh.
And then Marvel bought the script, and they didn't write it intending to make it. Someone wrote it and then they bought it.
You mean Disney?
Disney, sorry, yeah. And you can kind of tell because I know there was Ryan Reynolds said this in an interview that this is the first like original movie ever like in a long time, but this is like the first original movie Disney's made in a while.
I'm sure it is. Like, I wouldn't know, but I'm sure it is.
Except like the Pixar stuff. I think this, Pixar like the. Yeah. This might be like one of the. This is because I can't remember. There's Cruella, or that wasn't really original either, because that's a spin-off. Yeah, this is probably one of the first things they've made originally in a while, and it's a thing where, yeah, just kind of it's a cool thing where they got a script that wasn't theirs.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's I don't know, it's weird. that's kind of what they're doing. We should maybe... You want to kind of run through the movie? If you want to kind of...
Stuff happened.
Yeah, that's about it. Okay. This has been the C-Files podcast, ladies and gentlemen. I just want to mention briefly, the very beginning of the movie, we can kind of skim some stuff, but it was a thing as, it was an example of a good use of, like, narration. When they just do the glasses people have...
Yeah, that was good.
Because sometimes, like, I think I get annoyed with because there's the show not don't tell rule, the rule that you have to, if you can show something, there's no way to really show that without it coming off as cheesy, so I think narration's the best choice there. It is funny how they kind of set it up they're like, yeah, this is just Fortnite / GTA.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But, like, yeah, you can
works.
make funny jokes about it then.
Yeah, no, it worked. They should have. It's a good idea they did that. They're like, we're gonna be pretty obvious about that. This is just like, yeah. I think so that was and there's a lot of just like good stuff. I can't remember the director. The director of this has done like he did the Night Museum movies.
I haven't seen any films. Assume that I haven't. If you talk about a film, assume that I haven't seen it.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'll do that from now on.
Okay, good.
There's another thing. Like I just kind of brought you in because there's a lot of references in this to video games. I don't get it.
Well, there was a bunch of the YouTubers in it.
Yeah, the YouTubers. I know Pokimane because I've seen like news.
Luke.
For people who can't see, he made a look at me. No, I saw this like...
Luke, it's a podcast. Nobody can see.
Yeah, I know. No one can... That's why I'm explaining. I saw like one of those... Pokemon said yada yada yada. This is why it's important. I don't care. But yeah, so I saw that, but... and I knew Ninja, vaguely.
Yeah. You know, it's gotten to the point where if you look up Ninja, his face comes up before pictures of actual ninjas.
That's a little sad.
It's very sad, speak louder.
But yes, I mean, you kept pointing out to me the people in the background of the on the walls.
Yeah, they were jumping against the wall and
it
stuff.
Is really.
It's very accurate.
It's like we've both done that.
We've all done that.
My limited experience of playing. And then I remember the bit...
We've all jumped into walls once or twice or 5 million times.
It's part of growing up.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. And then there's I don't know if you've ever done this. I've done this because was a little kid, I had the Lego Marvel video game.
I never... I didn't have a console until I was like 11.
Oh.
Yeah, so I never played I played the Lego like Star Wars games on holiday and stuff. I must say I was pretty good at them.
My sister like loves video games. My sister's definitely more into video games than I am, and we got like a PS4 when I was like 7, and we got because I was also super into Lego at the time. We got like
Gus once kept going on about how in the Lego Indiana Jones video game. You could get this, like, club or shovel, and when you hit people with it, the word bonk would appear next to them. And he would just run around hitting his sister the whole time.
For the people who don't know, Gus is a friend who sometimes helps on this channel.
Has he been on?
He hasn't been on. He does not want to be on.
Oh. But then he doesn't help.
You know, he does, like, he helps with, like, post-production stuff.
Okay.
But, yeah, they do... There's that, Yeah, but she does the thing where you're walking through pedestrians and they always have the pre-recorded voice thing. Like, you know when you walk in a game in, like, a city? I don't know if you play a game of this. Where, like, you'll walk past someone and they have a bunch of pre-recorded things for just civilians to say in the background.
Yeah.
And I've done it before where you walk past people and she's doing the thing where she's mouthing along to what they're saying. I've done that before in, like, the Lego games because they have bits where you walk through the city and,
And you do that thing like in Free Guy where you just say what they're saying.
Yeah, where it's like
the
they haven't GTA as well. Like there are memes of people like there's apparently I saw this video. There's a thing where a guy walks past a lady and then the lady yells that's sexual assault. I don't know why they added it in or if it's even real, but I just saw a video of that happening and then the guy was like, "Excuse me," and punches.
If that is real, that is amazing.
It's amazing and like
I don't mean to sound like
that's how you piss off trolls. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's how you piss off trolls. There was that, and then also I think I don't know how much this movie was made for. I know this is more film stuff again.
Yeah.
But like, you know how
I'll just let you talk about that.
yeah. So basically, for example, Avengers Endgame, which I know is like the top, the peak of stuff. That was £365 million to make.
That's a lot of pounds.
For a movie where they don't know how well it's gonna do, they usually put 180 million, and I wouldn't be surprised if this is how much it is, even though like it's a very heavy.
But they had a carriage with horses on it.
I know, Casper. It's okay, man. But they have there's a lot of CG in it, but they had the advantage.
Horses might not be real then.
I think the horse might have been real.
Yay.
They had a lot of CG in it, but like, even there are points where the CG doesn't look great. Like I mean, again, I've gotten to the point where I've watched so many movies.
What do you mean, like with the bits that CG don't?
You know the bit where the guy's on fire, and then he didn't look.
Yeah.
But you have that advantage.
Luke, could you do better though?
No. It works in the context of like this is a video game, so it doesn't have to look great.
Yeah.
That's I think what they're
but
kind
like
of.
also when you see the people in real life watching
Yeah.
the graphic, it's like the graphics of a video game.
That's a little weird. Don't know why they did.
I think that's good, and also it saves time.
It does save time. Well, it doesn't really. You could just use the footage from the movie.
Shush.
I was a little weirded out by that. I'm like, okay.
No, I think it works. If they
Yeah.
made the graphics a bit better, it could have been like GTA.
It does a
and then
little
it would have
bit.
looked good.
It does a little bit age the movie though.
Yeah.
Like now in 10 years, I can look back and it's like so unrealistic. I mean, this is a thing where also another thing I was a little when I saw the trailer for this, I got kind of weirded out because studios have been doing this thing now, like where they just get all their IPs, everything they own, and then just make them cross over with each other. Like there's remember, I don't know if you didn't watch it, but you know Ready Player One.
Yeah.
You know roughly what that is.
There's like something that you go in.
Yeah, this is just a better version of Ready Player One.
I haven't seen
And then like, you know that new Space Jam movie?
No.
You've seen
I
trailers.
haven't seen anything.
But you haven't,
Space Jam.
I haven't seen it either.
Yeah.
But like you've seen trailers.
Yeah.
It's just like everything they own. It's just Looney Tunes and Iron Giant. Like there was Gandalf stuff in the trailer. There was Matrix stuff. Studios, it's weird. They just Marvel's like we do crossovers. Yeah, it's just like everything now. And when I first saw that, I was like, oh no. And there are moments in this when it does kind of cross over into that.
Like in the fight, where
yes.
it's got like the lightsabers and the shield and whatnot.
I remember because you and Max were watching a clip of that in class.
Yeah.
And you said don't watch this, it'll spoil the thing, but I saw Captain America shield, like just briefly. I was like, oh my god. Yeah. I was like, oh my god, if that's in the movie, I swear to god.
Now, but the bit with Chris Evans?
Chris Evans,
Evans,
that's a good. I'm like, okay,
that made it good.
That seems like a thing where that wasn't in the original script. Disney.
No. He was like just round the corner, and the
okay, I'd somehow doubt that, mate. You don't just get.
He was somewhere nearby, and the guys making the film were like, "Can you come on for like 2 seconds? We'll pay you for it."
Mm-hmm.
And then he filmed the thing like, "What the?"
I imagine he must have been like they probably filmed like a massive lot set. And he was in a different set because there's no way Chris Evans was just happened to be.
Yeah. No, but it's like that bit in Deadpool 2 where what's the guy who plays Wolverine?
Hugh Jackman.
Him, where he gets electrocuted on that wire when they're flying down.
That's Brad Pitt.
Shut up.
That's a different actor.
Shut up. Anyway, he was paid 1 cup of coffee to do that.
Yeah, that's just because Brad Pitt has a lot of money.
Probably.
And I imagine him and maybe him and maybe those two guys maybe him and Ryan Reynolds are buddies. Yeah, but like so that seems like a thing where the original guy wrote the script, Disney added in that thing, and then Ryan Reynolds was like, I think Ryan Reynolds must have known it was a little stupid. Because and then was like, okay, we'll add in a joke here, so we're kind of being more self-aware.
Sure, why not?
That's why I kind of forgive the Captain America shield. I did not like the lightsaber thing.
It's a lightsaber, though!
It's not Star Wars!
It is.
It's not. I'm sorry.
Lightsabers are from Star Wars.
No, I know lightsabers.
Donut.
Some Star Wars. It's not a Star Wars movie.
It's not a Marvel movie either.
It's different for me. It's just different.
Fine.
Yeah, it's kind of that one where I was just like, okay, let's turn it back. It was weird that they only had two. I know they had that like Hulk thing as well, but they only had two things. Like, rule of threes, come on.
That's a thing.
There's this like thing. It's like you should always try and rule. If you're gonna have a thing, repeat like a gag, do it in threes.
Really?
Yeah. It's more more visually and satisfying for people. If you have threes, I don't know, some subconscious thing.
No, there is this thing about that with odd numbers. That is a thing. Happens.
It's just guess why twos is like because
it's why you never count to 4.
Yeah.
Or 2. You don't go 1, 2. You go 1, 2, 3 or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You never count.
Yeah, you don't really count them all.
You don't count to 6 either.
Yeah, so there's that. Yeah, that's kind of just the thing. It kind of works with that. There's a thing. There are a lot of movie references in this. Like, there's a lot. There's one that like you would only get if you'd seen the movie, and you had not seen. There's They Live. I mentioned this whilst we were watching it, because you hadn't. I know you haven't seen They Live. If you haven't seen,
is it a zombie film?
It's not. We should watch it together. It's really good. It's a movie from the 80s. It's an action movie.
Yeah.
And it's about a guy, and he puts on these glasses. Yeah, you see where I'm going with this. And he realizes, that actually the world's controlled by these like alien monsters. And if you put on the glasses, you can actually see which people are like monsters with like that disguising themselves as people. And like they have, it's one of those like slightly political sub messaging in it, which is like, you know how essentially you could probably put every like billboard ad down to like them trying to one word like orders. Like everything is essentially a form of an order. Like an ad for like whatever clothing thing is.
All the orders in ads just buy.
Yeah, it's like so like he puts on the glasses and like an ad for whatever clothing thing just becomes a white thing that just says the word buy, and then like a government thing says obey, and like it's really cool. But there's a scene halfway through the movie where he's trying to convince his friend to also put on the sunglasses. And his friend's, which is like, and also thing where it's like, the guy's on the ground, he's handing, like, they're almost mirroring the shots to it.
Yeah, well, that's definitely a reference.
It's gotta be a reference. Also, though, unfortunately, this version doesn't end in a fist fight that lasts 5 minutes with no music, and it's just one long cut of two guys scrambling on the ground, one trying to put sunglasses on the other. That would be so much better.
That would be so much better.
Exactly. There's that. There's a lot of like small references. There's the bit where he's like being a good guy and leveling up.
Yeah.
Made me think of Groundhog's Day.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because they keep dying again and again. It kind of does feel like that. I mean, I
don't think that would have been a direct reference.
That were not a reference. That's just what it feels. Like, you can't do that without it feeling like Groundhog's Day.
Yeah. But like.
Mm-hmm.
No, never mind.
No, what's up? What's up?
No, never mind.
Alright.
I would just phrase it.
Yeah, I mean, also, like, even, I remember because I kind of follow the trailers for this, because you know how people there's, like, a bunch of different trailers for the same movie. I love how the first trailer didn't mention that it was a video game. They treated it as if it was just, like, a GTA movie. They never mentioned it's a video... They don't, I'll see if I'll show you later. The first trailer for this, which was, like, released in 2019...
Really?
I don't know. It was released a while back. This movie's been postponed a lot.
I mean, I hear more about video games getting postponed, but you know.
I don't know. That's weird. I'm surprised video games, because video games you can release at home.
What?
Why video games? Because video games.
No, it's just like they just take longer, like with the programming and stuff.
Because movies is the whole thing of like cinemas, and then a lot of people leave. Yeah. Also, there are some movies that I think it's funny. I was watching this and I was like, not every movie needs to be seen in the cinema. Because, like, this movie, you see it in the cinema, you see it at home.
I saw it with Max.
Yeah, you saw it in the cinema. Like, this movie, you see it in the cinema, you see it at home, not like a huge thing. Because it's not that kind of movie. The new Dune movie, Dune is a cinema movie, you know? I know you haven't seen it, but...
I have to read the book first.
I know, I'm going to read the book. The book is... After I watch the movie, I'm like, I should read the book. But it's a very, like, large 2001 Space Odyssey-esque, like, huge shots. Yeah, it's
You
there.
can't
there
really get that on like a little screen if
Yeah.
you're just watching on your phone.
There's this director, David Fincher. Not David Fincher. Other guy. I don't know. I'm not gonna go on this edit. I'll edit this out. This is a weird tangent. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of just after a certain point in this movie, we just kept questioning the logic of
Yeah, there were lots of things like there were lots of things that shouldn't have worked.
Like there's
And then I made the joke about press E to use swings.
yeah. Well, like so there's the joke in the trailer. Do you have a Glock in your pocket?
Yeah, how would they be able to feel that?
That's the thing. I'm like, they didn't think about that. They were like, they were.
No, they did. They just hoped that other people wouldn't.
Yeah. Just like,
I'm not wrong.
I mean, no, you're right. They definitely hope that like they just don't think about it. Just don't think about it. So I mean, there's that. There's a lot of things that wouldn't work quite well because they mentioned that you pointed this out again. When he kisses her, they mentioned there's not a button for that, and then there's
when he kisses her, there's not a button for that, and then when she kisses him, like there's not a button for that.
Yeah, we're like we're only going by the rules you gave us.
Exactly.
I mean, and so another thing, like, because Ready Player One, the whole thing about that was that it was VR, and then she's playing it on like the first time we see her playing it,
she's playing on a laptop. Number one,
in a
how
cafe.
does it run on a laptop?
Yeah.
Like,
Secondly,
it's a pretty big game.
I imagine you need a gaming setup for this,
A proper big one,
or at least like they also because it's an online game. They never show anyone I imagine it's an online game because they never show anyone on like a console playing it. Every time they cut away it's always like someone.
No, but YouTubers don't use consoles.
Yeah, but like when they show those little kids.
Yeah, but like they could have just been playing on a laptop.
Yeah, I know, but you know,
they would have like I'm not sure what the word is. They would have like optimized, I think it is, which means you can run on a smaller and smaller thing.
Which is weird. You can play Fortnite on a computer, right?
You can, yes.
Yeah, I wasn't sure.
You used to be able to play Fortnite on a phone.
Yes.
Like, the graphics weren't great, but it worked.
So maybe in theory it's like Fortnite handlings, just slightly more. Because
I guess.
Also, it'd be a thing where like you can only do those things in certain scenarios. Like you can only do like the shake hands, talk, whatever thing within a certain range of a person.
Yeah,
it's probably that. So it's not like constantly there. I don't know how they do it. It's kind of just like just don't think about it.
Yeah.
You were also joking about when Antoine's name is spelt weird because
Antoine is also like the best character.
Antoine is the best character in this movie.
He's amazing.
When I first heard the name, I thought it was spelled the French name, which is
Antoine.
Aitwan. Antoine. But it's Antwan. It's spelled Antwan.
That's weird.
And I'm like, what? Okay. I mean, maybe it's just supposed to be like
that.
I think the movie's also supposed to be like, it's probably not his real name. Like, he probably changed his name just for, like, whatever.
Yeah.
He is, like, yeah, he's one of the best. He has one of the best lines in the movie, which is, I don't care if he's Arnold speaking Schwarzenegger, terminate him.
That is
which I will eternally quote now.
Okay.
Taika Waititi is great in this movie. Whenever he acts and stuff, he's always super funny.
He's that rock. He's Korg.
He's Korg.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Korg, ladies and gentlemen.
Hi, I'm made out of rocks.
I'm made out of rocks. He's whenever you act, whenever he acts, he's great.
Rock.
Yeah, yeah, he's great. There's a lot of Stranger Things stuff in this because Joe Keery, the keys, he's like Stranger Things. Then Channing Tatum's like real dude, the guy in the.
Oh yeah,
like,
Mom, don't touch that song.
that's
you will be in therapy for the rest of your life.
We both just like that's
yeah.
You will be in therapy for the rest of your. Also, hearing Channing Tatum yell those things like two in front of him it's really funny. Channing Tatum is like,
you are 22 and living in my house.
There is no God. Whoever wrote the comedy in the script, like, top notch.
It's good.
This is a funny movie.
Humor.
Correct. 5 out of 5 stars. But like he's also in Stranger Things for like 5 minutes. Yeah, so I also saw this thing. It was like a release by Disney thing, where on the movie, where like they showed all the cameos, like the secret cameos, which seem essentially like Ryan Reynolds just called in just called someone and was like, hey, could you just like record a thing in your basement for 30 seconds and so there's because there's sort of there's the Ryan, not I don't know what I'm saying. There's the Dwayne Johnson one, which I pointed out whilst we watched the movie.
Oh yeah,
the bank robber.
Yeah.
There's the teabagging guy.
Yeah.
The guy who's like
because
they had
the one in the screen with the blue bit,
and it's all black around him. It's like they cut him with the YouTubers.
Yeah.
Then there was Tina Fey, what I mentioned, who's the there's the.
I don't know any of these people, Luke.
You know Dwayne Johnson, and
Yeah.
Other guy, who I just mentioned and name forgot. John Krasinski, who is he's a Jim in The Office.
I have never seen The Office. I'm sorry. I probably should.
You'd recognize him if you saw him. He's yeah. And then there's Tina Fey, who's like he's a comedian. She wrote like Mean Girls. If you've probably heard some people talk about that at school.
Yeah.
And she's the mum. That YouTuber who's like in his house with all like the Deadpool posters behind him.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the mum's in the background.
There is no God.
Yeah, so again, it sounds essentially like Ryan Reynolds called in some friends and was like, please, and they're like,
please,
sure, whatever. It's another thing on my IMDb page. I probably got paid for it too. Like I wouldn't. Ryan Reynolds was like, "You want to do it?" Like, sure. Like,
sure. You're Ryan Reynolds. Why not?
Why the heck not?
I mean, being paid wouldn't be a bad thing.
No, I'm not against it in any way. If the more I can get paid for this type of thing, the better. Like, I don't know why you turn it down unless maybe you have you can't be bothered to walk into the studio for a day. Then I think I mentioned this to you briefly. The most hilarious thing to me is the message that you shouldn't be like corporate and creativity and stuff. Because it's coming from Disney. And Disney are essentially...
What was the whole message? Like,
the message of the movie is like because the villain is a guy who bought up like a small game.
Antoine. The greatest character
The
ever.
greatest character
Well, maybe
ever.
not ever. I haven't seen that many good films.
He's, from what I've seen, he's up there.
Okay.
But so it's kind of like, so the message is kind of, how you shouldn't buy small companies and creativity and all that, and how like it's bad these big companies
don't put a price on creativity.
Yeah, which Disney does.
Probably a lot.
Like they bought like everything. They bought the friggin' Muppets.
They did.
They own the Muppets. They released there's a Muppet TV show owned by Disney, and there's like a Halloween Muppets movie.
God. Everything's just owned by like Disney.
Essentially, yeah. So it's just a weird message coming from them. Because like, also they're talking like that Antoine has that thing. He's like, I'm gonna reboot it, man.
Yeah.
And like, that's exactly what Disney's doing. Like Lion King, all these live action Cinderella. Like you haven't made a original movie in a while. It's
just all remakes.
It's a little rich coming from you, Disney.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like Disney the only people doing this. Like,
probably not. But...
No, they're not. I saw this. You know the show. The Boys.
No.
It's a show. It's like a superhero show, but like if superheroes were real. Like so, it's like really like they're all. And in the show, it's really fun. It's kind of funny because all the superheroes are like egotistical maniacs. And
that's what happened if they were real.
And like, there's a character Homelander who's essentially Superman, but like, there's this really interesting plot, at least in the first season, where like everyone's scared of him.
Why?
Because if Superman was real, you'd just be kind of terrified of him.
Yeah.
Because he can literally just kill you with a look.
And nobody can stop him.
Yeah. So like, that's kind of and he's got like developmental issues because like he's never been able to be treated normally. And it's a really good show. And there was I don't know if you heard about this Disney Plus Day. Recently,
Ew.
It was essentially all meant that Disney announced a bunch of released a bunch of trailers and dumped a bunch of stuff that was in cinemas onto Disney Plus for free. That's essentially what it meant. But when they released it, to parody it, Amazon released, because the whole thing in the show is that all the superheroes are like have a managing agency, and that managing agency also makes like superhero movies and superhero merchandise and stuff. And they parodied Disney Plus with Vector Plus. That's might be called Vector. I'm just thinking of them just called me, but
Vector.
But they have parodies like Vector Plus, and they have all the superheroes doing like a terrible ad for like a fake streaming service.
That's
and I'm like, Amazon, you have a streaming service, right? This is to promote your streaming service. So, I don't know, dude. What you doing?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that was the most egregious point. Where I'm like, what the fuck?
Oh yes, egregious.
Egregious. It's a
That's
word
a
that doesn't get used enough nowadays.
I know it's a word, and I know it's a good word. But
And I'm saying it doesn't get used enough.
it's not.
Yeah. So that's kind of just I'm thinking it's a little. This is funny when you.
Yeah, it is funny. When
You see stuff with this, you're like,
really, guys?
did no one proofread this? Alright. Especially like, when you compare it to what Disney's released this year. And I think Disney's had a pretty good run. They've released some good movies. But they released I don't even know. They've released 3 new Marvel movies, 800 new Marvel shows.
Yeah.
Like Boba Fett, Cruella. They've released nothing.
Boba Fett and Cruella are not Marvel.
No, but with those things as well.
Yeah.
None of that's original. Oh, and Encanto. So fine, they released 2 original movies and 800 things in general.
Oh, Loki was pretty good. Doesn't make it original, but it's pretty good.
No, I'm not saying the stuff is necessarily bad. All of it's watchable. I think it varies in quality.
I like The Mandalorian.
Yeah, I haven't watched it. I watched season 1.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. All this stuff is, on average, I think everything Disney releases is watchable. They've never they haven't.
What If wasn't great.
I didn't like What If, actually. Never mind. Everything except What If is watchable. But even What If is watchable. It's just bad.
It's just not thought
through at all.
I guess.
Yeah, it's not unwatchable. It's not like Fast
It's not
and
like
Furious.
it pains your eyes to
Yeah.
watch it. What's wrong with Fast and Furious? I've never seen it though.
They bother me.
Haven't they got 50 films?
9. Then there's 2
Basically
more.
the same thing.
Yeah, essentially, yeah. And they've announced a Avengers Endgame Infinity War / type thing where the last 2 movies are going to be a 2-parter.
Wait, so Iron Man is going to be driving a car?
Yes, should be. But you know what? Disney's going to snatch it up and I wouldn't be surprised.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's essentially the movie world we live in. Movies are owned by everything's owned by Disney, Amazon, or Warner Brothers, because now Amazon owns James Bond.
Great.
Welcome to hell. I just saw because I saw this thing briefly, and the guy was talking about the state of the industry. He just ran through stuff that was stupid about movies.
Yeah.
Warner Brothers is now using an AI to decide what movies they make. There's a James Dean who's a actor who tragically died at 23. They're gonna deep fake in a movie. I don't even know if that's happening anymore because so many people are outraged.
Why?
Disney's just released 800 new TV shows.
Yeah.
Yep. Alright, well this is a depressing way to end a podcast about a movie we both agree is good.
It is a good movie.
But, yeah. I'd recommend Free Guy.
Yeah,
I think
it's pretty good.
out of 10, it's a solid 7. It's a solid 7.
I mean, I guess. I don't know, I've watched Marvel and Star Wars, that's about it. So yeah, I don't have much to rate it against, so I'll just go with
If you like that, if you like the Marvel movies and stuff, you'll love it. If you're more of a fan of cinema and, movies as a thing, it's a thing. Sometimes when I'm editing, I'll put on a movie in the background. It is perfect for that. If you're doing something and you need to put something on and you don't want to you have a lot of free time, so you can take as long as you want, or if it's a simple activity, this is a perfect movie for that. Yeah. So
I can't tell if that's an insult or a compliment.
no, that's a good thing. I love it when a movie's like not too bad. Because I heard this term on a different podcast. We hate movies, but they have a term called a hangover movie.
Yeah.
Which is
you watch it when you have a hangover,
and you could fall asleep through a bit of it, wake up, and essentially get what's happening. Yeah. So
yeah,
it's alright.
it's pretty good. I liked it.
Yeah, it's good.
Disturbing lack of crocodiles, though.
Yeah, we were talking about that. Because there's a scene. We'll just touch on this briefly. There's the scene where they're on the side of a river, and then I realized that was Chicago because I'd been there recently, and I was like, just Chicago, because earlier we'd mentioned this is just New York when everything was exploding in the beginning.
Yeah. And
then we decided that it was Florida.
It was Florida
with taller buildings.
Yeah.
Because we imagine this is what Florida is.
Yeah.
And
therefore there were a disturbing lack of alligators.
Yeah, so we imagine what happened is they did it in Florida and they just had to CG out all the massive crocodiles.
And alligators. Yeah.
If you want to, we're on the Sea Files on YouTube, Spotify, maybe other places by the time you're listening to this.
On YouTube, we are not the Files. They suck.
They do suck. We hate them. Okay? We're going to come after them, and I really hope they don't see this.
And terminate them.
They're going down. Yeah, I found out. Because the first episode of this I released like a year ago.
Yeah.
Like a long time. I released like a year ago, and then I didn't do anything for a year, essentially. But at least a year ago.
But that's now, and you've released stuff before this.
Yeah, no, but I released one thing in March of 2020.
Oh wow.
And then I didn't release anything else. And in that time, another podcast called the Sea Files Podcast came up, and I'm like, oh, you're going down.
That's so annoying.
Yeah. Now we beat them.
What do they do?
They do horror movie podcasts.
Ew.
And I was like, ew.
They're like us, but worse.
Especially because my first episode was the Invisible Man.
Fair enough.
Yeah. So.
Is that it?
That's about it. I'm Luke.
I'm Casper.
This has been the Sea Files Podcast. See you later. Hi, this is Luke. If you like that video, please like and subscribe, and click the bell icon for notifications about new videos.